Hi everyone, it's that time of year when we get to enjoy all of the holiday rom-coms. I personally love a Hallmark movie around the holidays, and I love reading about Christmas rom-coms as well. So I wanted to share my top list of the best holiday rom-coms recently, so you can enjoy all of the holiday magic too. I'm Molly, if you don't know me. I'm a freelance book editor and a book blogger over at mollyreads.com. I blog about all kinds of books and mostly do, book lists and book reviews, reading tips, that sort of thing. So definitely check out my blog if you're new here. Before we get started, I did want to share my current read, which is A Home for the Holidays by Taylor Hahn. I don't think this is a rom-com. I think it's a little bit heartier than that. It definitely deals with some heavier topics like grief and the death of a parent. So know that before you get into it. But so far I'm really enjoying it. The publisher did send this to me as a complimentary book in exchange for my honest thoughts. And so I'll share all of that information down below too. But yeah, I'm reading this one with my book club right now and I'm really enjoying it. Not quite, far enough to add it to this list, but I wanted to share it still. Okay, so I'm starting this list out with a little bit of a different one. This is not really a traditional romantic comedy or romance story, but I still would put it in a rom-com, a holiday rom-com category. This is The Orphans Club by Becca Freeman. Sorry, The Christmas Orphans Club by Becca Freeman. And this, I would say, is a Christmas friendmance story. Think like Friends in New York City sort of vibes, but it's a platonic love story that I was so sold on from the very beginning. This book is written by Becca Freeman, who has a podcast called Bad on Paper Podcast. That's actually how I first learned that she had written a book, and I was a little bit nervous because sometimes reading content creators' books doesn't always end up that great. But I really enjoyed this book. It came out last year. Definitely add it to your list if you haven't read it yet. I am a sucker for found family stories and especially New York City Christmas stories. That just feels so peak rom-com to me. And so, yeah, I felt like this one was really festive and heartwarming, and I think you're gonna love it too. By the way, you can check out the full synopsis over on my blog for all of the books in this list. Okay, next we have A Winter in New York by Josie Silver. We can't talk about holiday rom-coms and not talk about Josie Silver. She is the queen of the holiday rom-com. I loved A Winter in New York and One Day in December by her. But A Winter in New York, I read it last year with my book club and it was the perfect read. It just had the sweetness of everything you would want in a romance. Like the chemistry was off the charts. It was a little bit of a slow burn, but totally worth it. And it also had this really complex family story and family secrets that were involved. And the story itself unfolded so naturally. Set in New York City, so very atmospheric, very Christmassy. This book was so charming and so heartbreaking in a good way. The protagonist's love interest, he was literally perfect in my opinion. It just hits all the right notes. I will say that it is a darker rom-com. There are heavier themes like domestic abuse, grief, loss, and that sort of thing. So just know that going into it. Okay, next we have The Adults by Caroline Hulse, and this book is a wild ride. If you like a little bit of dark humor in your rom-com, definitely check this one out. This one is messy. It's about two exes who vacation together. Just messy. Just over the top ridiculous. The story begins with a phone call to the police. So right away you're hooked, and I feel like I tore through this book to see what would happen. I will say, if you don't like that ticking time bomb stressful feeling when you're reading, you might not enjoy this one as much. I did find it stressful at times because it was just so messy and so wild. All around really entertaining Christmas rom-com. Next we have The Xmas Holidays by Zoe Allison. This book is a quintessential Hallmark movie type of book. It's got all of the cozy Christmas vibes. It takes place on a ski resort over the holidays. It's a little cheesy, a little bit unbelievable at times. I like to suspend belief a little bit, so it didn't bother me that much. I mean, with stories like this, like, you're not really going to go into it that concerned about like predictability. But I just thought this was the perfect cozy winter holiday read. It's a second chance romance. There's a lot of interesting family dynamics. Yeah, check it out. Next, we have Christina Lauren's In a Holidays. Now, if you know anything about Christina Lauren, you know that it's two authors who have co-written many, many romance books. I would say on the spicier side in terms of like open door, closed door, definitely Christina Lauren's on the spicy side. But this book really is the Love Actually meets Groundhog Day story. I love a good time loop story. If you need a lot of explanation with time travel, you might be bothered by this story a little bit. But I just really enjoyed it. All of the Christmas traditions, the cozy, festive vibes were just 10 out of 10. So those are 5 books on my best holiday rom-coms list. Definitely go check out the full list. I think I have 5 holiday books that I'm reading right now that are coming out in 2025, and I definitely plan to update that list as soon as I finish reading. Thanks to the tagged publishers down below who sent me complimentary copies of these books. I have loved exploring the romance genre this year and last year. If you have any holiday rom-coms that I missed, or just any general holiday books that you love to read this time of year, will you let me know in a comment down below? I would love to know. I think that's everything. Thanks for watching. Go be cozy and happy reading.